In the real world, if you leave a blacksmith alone for 10 minutes, you expect to find a sword when you get back. Or at least a nail. In Unreal Engine, if you walk 100 yards away, that blacksmith and his entire shop cease to exist. This week, Matt continued in his attempt to give our world a memory so that doesn't happen. It didn't go well. Welcome back to Probably Unlimited Games. We've been tackling the logic of building a living world, but we have hit a massive snag. Despawning. To keep the frame rate from dying, games will forget buildings when you aren't looking at them. This is generally called culling, and it makes you think of Old Yeller. Same basic principle. You have something that's taking up too much resources, so you take it out back and shoot it, then spawn an identical copy when you need it again. Just like Star Trek teleportation. No harm, no foul, right? If you don't remember dying, you don't have any post-death trauma to work through. That's fine for a wall or a house, but it's a disaster for a queue of work. If you order 10 planks of wood and go hunting, the game was effectively Old Yellering the order the moment you left the area. We had to figure out a way to make our stations remember what they are, what their tasks are, and how long they've been working. Last week, we tried to fix this by having the villagers yell at the sky and ask it what time it was. This was supposed to work since the skybox has a built-in clock. That is its entire job, after all. However, Matt's first mistake was trusting the clock. His code wasn't checking how many items were already in the queue, so it just scheduled every single task to finish at the exact same second. Efficient? Yes. Realistic? Not unless our villagers are secretly queue. So Matt spent Tuesday switching the logic from finish time to duration remaining. It means instead of finishing everything at the exact same time, the stations ask, how much time has passed since I last existed? And they just catch up. It's like Q every time the Star Trek writers need to pull him out of the closet. Matt broke the UI. Again. This is becoming a recurring theme in the devlog. To make the object memory work, every station now has a unique name, but while implementing that, the UI lost its mind. Matt found that every time you added a single order, the UI would automatically re-add every previous order you've ever made. It was an infinite loop of accidental productivity. If we'd left it in, your villagers would have been tasked with creating resources until the sun burned out. Or, more likely, until the game crashed under the weight of a 10,000 item to-do list. Q strikes again. He fixed it, but not before questioning his career choices. It was a slow week otherwise, which was a bit of a blessing in disguise. Real life has a way of putting digital problems into perspective. We lost 2 of our lambs this week. They were born in the cold rain and the mama didn't really do her job. Which happens with sheep sometimes. They do a bit of culling of their own, unfortunately. We brought them inside, dried them off, bottle-fed them, kept them warm. But in the end, there wasn't really all that much we could do. They both slipped off quietly. It makes you realize that building a digital world is a real luxury when you're reminded how fragile the real one is. But the world goes on. We got some solid progress in otherwise, even if I didn't have the time to open Blender a single time this week. But we were able to make sure the world keeps turning while you're away, and I call that a win. Steve, and not Steve, have noticed this new object memory. They've seen the unique names on the stations. They've felt the game trying to remember them when the player leaves. They wonder if they are part of the queue, if their existence is just a duration remaining bar, ticking down in a void they can't see. They wonder what happens when the bar reaches 0. Does the work finish? What work do they have? What work in the dark are they conducting? So secret they do not know it themselves. What dark enigma do they harbor in their souls, waiting to burst forth? Will it be dust, a formless fire that springs from the naked ground, or the breath of the mountainside as it rushes through the trees? They're still waiting for the player to come back and check. They hope the player doesn't stay away too long. Memory is a fragile thing in the forest. Like and subscribe, it really does help.